guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. But in case this is the first time you're stopping by, my name is Gina and I'm a wife and mother from the Midwest. I enjoy cooking fresh meals for my family, and sometimes I share videos of my recipes here on YouTube for you guys. Today I am going to be sharing the first of what is hopefully to be a series on how to make chiles rellenos, but this video itself is how to make a mild tomato, meaning red tomato based salsa. This salsa is delicious. It's mild. It's just very homey and comforting. We use it for a lot of different dishes in our house. Like I use it when I make tortitas de papa. We eat it on corrundas or tamales, and it would be really great for like a guisado de chicharron. But in today's application, I am going to be making this in anticipation of making chiles rellenos, which is a really long and complicated and messy dish. Hence, I'm going to have to film it in a couple of parts. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our ingredients. I'm doing like a medium batch of salsa. This should be good specifically for the chiles rellenos. It's probably going to end up being maybe like 5 cups of salsa, I'm hoping. So what I've got here is 10 Roma tomatoes. I'm only using 2 serrano peppers today. Last time I used 1 chile for every 3 tomatoes, and they were really spicy, and this also was too spicy. We like spicy salsa in our house. We really enjoy very spicy salsa, but this is more of a salsa that you're going to consume almost like a sauce versus something just to top your tacos or to add spice to your dish. So I like it to be a little bit more mild because it's delicious and you're just going to want to gobble it up. So anyways, 10 tomatoes, 2 chile serranos. We're going to use 3 or 4 cloves of garlic depending on the size of these when I open it up. A little slice of onion. You can use white onion or yellow onion. I just happen to have this one that's already cut from the fridge and was kind of stinking it up in there, so I'm going to use that today. And then the magical ingredient is nor suiza, or caldo de pollo en polvo, which is powdered chicken bouillon flavor. So you don't have to have the Nor brand, but that's just what I use. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my tomatoes and my chiles and chop up my veggies, get some hot water in a pan, and we will get this boiling. This salsa is so simple, but really, really great. You guys are going to love it. All right, guys. So the first thing that we did was rinse off our tomatoes and our chiles, which, as you can see, the stupid waxy residue, see it? It's still in there. These tomatoes were like greasy. They were so polished. But anyways, so I've got our tomatoes and our chiles in the water, and this is where my first tip comes in. So I like to treat tomatoes and tomatillos like I would treat a potato, a whole potato that I was going to boil. And by that, I mean I place the tomatoes or whatever, tomatillos, in the water while it's still cold, and then you bring the water to a boil with the tomatoes inside. And the reason you're doing that is because the tomato is whole and thick. And if you place them into hot boiling water, the skin and the outer layer of the tomato or potato or whatever you're cooking is going to cook way faster than the inside, resulting in a mushy outside of your tomato and a hard inside. And since we're making salsa, we want it to be nice and soft all the way through. So that's my favorite tip when I'm boiling any type of tomato or tomatillo for salsa. This is just plain water. It's not salted or anything. So we're just going to let this come to a boil. And then over here, I went ahead and I roughly chopped 3 cloves of garlic because they were pretty big. And we're just going to be adding this directly into our blender, so we don't have to worry about like overly chopping it or anything or mincing it. And then I've got half of that onion that I had, so it's just 3 pieces that are about a 1/2 inch thick. We're going to toss that into the blender as well. And then after we add our tomatoes in, we are going to add about a tablespoon of nor suiza to start. I usually make this recipe with like 6 tomatoes, so I'm making a little bit bigger of a batch. And it's always easier to add in more salt or whatever you're needing to add for salty flavor because you can't take it out. So I'm going to let this come to a boil. We're probably going to boil it for like 10 minutes, but I'll be back to check with you along the way. All right, guys, so this is what your tomatoes are going to look like when they're done. The skins are going to be coming off. And you can see that they're nice and soft. You could stick a knife right through them. I'm going to go ahead and strain these off using the spoon and remove them to the blender, and I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, you're going to have to hang in here with me because my little girls are playing with their cousin in the background. So sorry for the noise. I've got my tomatoes and chiles here in the blender on top of the onions and garlic. And this is what I mean by a tablespoon. I'm usually actually using a spoon from the table. This is not a teaspoon. This is a tablespoon. I dropped some here on here. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. You do not add any water. We just blend this right up. I'm going to drain this water because this is garbage, and then we are going to return this to the pan, and we are going to simmer it for a while until it gets nice and thick. Okay, friends, so here we go. This actually has only been going for probably about 6 minutes. It's kind of steamy. I'm going to move some of this foam that's going on, but as you can see, this is a super rich salsa. It's deep red in color now, and the reason that happens is A, the tomatoes continue to cook, but the onions and garlic, when we blended them, were still raw, so that's really why you're boiling it. You want to cook that raw flavor off the garlic and onions. So at this point, we're just going to let this cool, and I store it in mason jars in the fridge. We usually use this in 1 or 2 recipes, so it doesn't last that long in our fridge, but I'd say you could probably keep it in there for about a week. If you wanted to, you could add fresh cilantro to this or even chopped up fresh onion. But since we're using this for guisados, we serve it just like this. And that's that. I'm going to go ahead and take some photos of this later on. I hope you enjoyed this super simple recipe video on how I like to make a tomato salsa or salsa roja para guisados. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them down below in the comment section. And you're probably going to have to look at the chiles rellenos video that I post to get the taste test from Daniel because we're not eating this right now. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I really appreciate your watching. Have a great day.